What's up guys, how you all doing? And welcome to my first Q&A of 2014. I put a video up just yesterday saying leave me some questions, and I got over 175 questions at this point. So it's going to be impossible to answer all 175 questions, because that we would be here for hours, and A, I haven't got time for that, and B, you guys would be bored of me in that time. So I'll answer the ones that I think are as relevant as possible, and maybe the next ones we'll do in the next Q&A. Don't forget, leave your questions down below for the next one, and in fact if your question didn't get answered, then leave that down below again and I'll try and answer it in the next one. Please try and make sure you don't ask ones that have already been answered, because it gets a bit sort of annoying for you guys to watch. And in addition to that, I have no order here, so it's just literally whatever kind of comes up. I'm going to skip through the ones that maybe aren't as relevant or haven't got time to answer, and I'll go through as many as I can in the time period that we've got. So, first up here from Leon Tomlinson: what is the point in recording in 4K when most people don't have 4K screens? 1080p would be just fine, like most other YouTubers use, just my opinion. Thanks for your question, Leon. That question really gets on my nerves though. I've got to say, it really does annoy me. It's kind of silly to not be forward thinking in the first place. So that's the first and biggest answer to that question. Everything soon will be 4K, and it's good to be first. The next point of that, in fact few points, and the most important ones again, are that downscaled 1080p from 4K is better than straight 1080p. And also, I know at least, I could name 20 people right now that have got 4K screens, and there is also millions of people who have 1440p displays. Anyone who's got a 27-inch iMac or certain size 27-inch screens, for example. And in addition to that, this year we're going to get 2K phones. So the question is kind of silly, really. I'm not quite sure what the point of that question is, but that's the answer anyway. What are your favourite TV shows, asks Reg. Oh, there's so many. I watch so many TV shows. Pretty much anything that is not comedy or drama, I watch. So anything that's sort of sci-fi, action, that sort of thing. So things like Sons of Anarchy, Homeland, Californication, I love. Green Arrow. Oh man, there is just so many. Breaking Bad, obviously, you know, one's gone in the past. Things like The Wire, The Shield, all that kind of stuff I've watched. I watch pretty much all of them if they're any good. So next up, how do you train? Explain a little. So with training, he's talking about my martial arts. Essentially, I really do mainly two martial arts, although I'm actually looking to possibly do judo as well. But the two that I do are jiu-jitsu, which is all submissions, basically how to submit someone, put them in an arm lock, an arm bar, a triangle, whatever it might be, and submit someone to the point where they pass out or you break one of their bones, for example. And then I do Muay Thai, which is kickboxing with knees and elbows as well. So they're the two that I do. And I go to multiple different gyms, all kinds of different gyms, and essentially we do training, learning technique, also exercise and strength and conditioning, and then we also obviously do sparring as well, where we have essentially full-fledged fights with one another, maybe at sort of 70–80% or whatever you and your sparring partner agree upon. So that's how I do that. Right, I'm going to go down to the bottom to see if I can get the older ones first. Although, like I say, they don't seem to be in any order whatsoever. Mario Matic, long-term viewer. What most of the girls are looking for in general today, your opinion? So what are most girls looking for in general today? I've got to be kind of sceptical here. I think a lot of women are just out there for money now. We've got this whole sort of wag culture, which is the wives and girlfriends for people from other countries, of footballers' wives, you know, who are really rich. And that culture, I think, has passed down quite a lot into the younger generation. So I think a lot of girls are kind of into that. There's no problem with looking for sort of security and whatnot, but you know, some girls I think take that a little bit too far. On top of that, I think really what girls most like is confidence is very, very important, and comedy. People like you to be funny. Girls like you to be funny. They want you to be confident, outgoing, funny, and have some good banter. That's really the main thing, and probably look after yourself as well, you know, in terms of your sort of appearance. Wilhelm3989 asks, how did you and Jade meet each other? Oh god, this is quite a long story, so I'm going to have to cut it down. So basically, I was on my way to an Arsenal game several years ago, and I got on the train at Sevenoaks, and the train was literally completely empty. So I got on, I looked both ways, and on one side I could see there's like a 4-seater table with 2 on each side, and there was 3 women, one of which was a young girl. And I thought, right, okay, the train's empty, but you know I don't want to sit on my own. So you know there's a bunch of girls, I'm going to go over and chat to them. So I walked over to the table and I said, "Hi ladies, do you mind if I come and sit with you?" And they said, "No problem." So I sat down and I started talking and whatnot, being a bit flirtatious with all of them. And Jade was actually sitting opposite me. And anyway, to cut a long story short, we didn't actually exchange numbers at that point. But when Jade went back to work, and she worked at this particular place that was close by, she told someone that she met this fit guy, I know that's embarrassing to say, on the train, and sort of gave a description of me. And this other girl that she was telling, from that description, knew that it was me, which is the bizarrest thing ever, but she did. And she gave Jade my phone number. Jade contacted me. The first night she contacted me, I took her up to London. We stayed up there together, both of us, and that was the beginning of that. So that was how that kind of worked out. It was a bit longer than that, but I've tried to cut it down. So what else have we got here? If you could change one thing about your past, what would it be? From Sean Entertainment. I think I would have tried to just be a better human being in my younger days. I think I do quite a good job of it now, but I think when I was younger, I wish I'd have sort of been a bit more aware of that type of thing. So yeah, probably that. Is it weird when you drive in another country where cars are different from the British ones? So I assume that they're talking about being on the other side of the road. Sorry guys. Being on the other side of the road. No, I have absolutely no problems doing that whatsoever. I've driven in all different countries throughout the world, so no problem for me. SM0273 asks, interested in your reasons for not drinking. Well, I mean, I'm not against drinking, and I don't sort of say, no, I'm not drinking for the sake of not drinking, or because I'm against it. I just don't like being hungover. I used to go out getting drunk when I was younger and stuff all the time. Now I've got my son and I see him at weekends. I kind of like to be in a fit state to be able to sort of spend time with him. I don't want to be laying in bed all hungover and stuff. And I just don't want to waste days being hungover, laying in bed feeling crap. I like to feel sort of energised all the time and feel positive, and I don't want to make myself feel crap. So, plus I don't really feel like I need alcohol to have a good time either. You know, a lot of people, you know, they drink every day or every weekend or whatever it is, and they feel like they need that to live or to have a good time. And that's just not my way of doing things, to be honest. I like to have a clear head, and I'm quite happy just being myself as I am. I don't need to be intoxicated. So that's that. And the other thing is as well, what was the other thing I was going to say about not drinking? There's no alcohol that I like the taste of, so it's not like I could even drink it because I like the taste of it. Do you think England is a good country for people to live? Yes, I think it's a great place to live. A lot of people put it down, and it does have its problems like every other country, but the UK is a pretty awesome place, I've got to tell you. I love it. Here we go. What would be the perfect size iPhone? I think the sort of HTC One size, like the 4.7 inch, 4.5 inch, 4.7 inch is probably just about the best size screen, personally, for me. A1 asks, does the income you make from YouTube cover your actual expenditure on tech? No, not even close. When you think I've just bought a £10,000 camera and a £5,000 computer, and that's nothing compared to when you add everything up together, I definitely don't earn that much from YouTube at the moment. Maybe I will in the future, who knows. I have got some sponsorships and stuff now, which is definitely assisting in that, but it's still not quite there yet. No, I just do it because I enjoy it. Although one day, you know, maybe in 2 or 3 years' time, when I've got a few 100,000 subscribers, maybe that is a possibility that it will start to earn more money. Does your son or family watch all of your videos? From Igor Muller. That's a cool name. I don't know. My son doesn't watch all my videos, definitely not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to say about Christmas presents and stuff like that. Some of my family do watch some of my videos. I'm not overly sure, really, to be honest, who watches what and who doesn't. But I know my son is not allowed on YouTube. He's only 8, so he's not allowed on YouTube unsupervised, and he doesn't look at my videos. So he's got no interest. He sees me enough as it is. So that's that. Neil Smith asks, is the step up to full frame worth it? So we're talking about photography there. That's a difficult one, actually. I think if you're a total professional, it is. Or maybe you're taking photos in a situation where you want the highest quality glass, and you also want the best situation for low light as well, then it's worth it. But I think if you're just an amateur photographer and you just like going around taking pictures and stuff, I'm not sure it is. Full frame glass is significantly more expensive than normal glass, and also obviously the cameras are more expensive as well. But I've got to say that I absolutely loved my D800. When I jumped from the D7000 to the D800, I just fell in love with it. I just absolutely loved it. And still to this day, it's my favourite camera. And I'm definitely a Nikon person at heart. It's just that Nikon don't make anything like the 1DC. So I've had to move to Canon. So that's my answer to that. Jack Llewellyn asks, have you had any previous relationships before Jade, or did you split up with George's mum? Yeah, obviously I split up with George's mum, and I've had like a lot of relationships before Jade. So yeah. What is wrong with the new generation? I don't think I can put my finger on an exact thing, but I think a lot of people want too much for nothing, aren't willing to work hard enough for what they want, and a lot of people have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. But you've got to remember that a lot of people put negative sort of outlooks on young people, and there are a lot of scummy young kids out there, but the vast majority of people are actually decent people. So I try not to look at it like that. I try and look at it from a more positive point of view. What is your favourite media player on Mac? From Agent SKJ1 VLC. And he's also asking about the cases that I use for my devices, the little sleeves. They're made by Mujjo, M-U-J-J-O. A1 asks, what car are you looking to buy next? I'm not sure yet. Possibly a Porsche Panamera or a 911, or maybe the new 6 Series, or maybe a Bentley. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't made up my mind. But I'm going to look during the first few months of this year. Do you find the small screen size of the iPhone 5S a bad point, or do you get used to it? You get used to it, but when you do try other phones for a period of time and then you come back to it, it does feel like a toy. But it's a great screen, it's just not as big. Question, I have an iPad 4 and got the gold iPhone 5S, excellent. I want an iPad Air. Do you think it's worth upgrading from the iPad 4 to the big sexy Air? That's from Apple Fan. Yes, I do. The iPad Air is incredible. It's just incredible. It's so thin, so light, so powerful. It's incredible. Best Apple release of the year, this. What devices in 2014 are you looking forward to? Do you think the iPhone 6 will get a bigger screen? That's from Anthony Reuter. God, what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to a lot of the sort of 2K screens that are going to come out on phones, and some of the improved cameras that are going to come out on phones as well. I'm looking forward to all of this sort of higher resolution stuff. And he asks about the question about the iPhone 6, will it get a bigger screen? I hope so, but I'm 50-50 on whether it will. I genuinely don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Marcus Hamer, great videos, thank you. Look forward to them every day. Oh, thank you very much. Always wanted to know the make of your watch. I mean, I own quite a few watches. I've probably got about 7 or 8 watches, but my favourite one, and the one I wear the most, is a Chopard. So that's C-H-O-P-A-R-D. Android Geek 7, how you doing, buddy? How did you learn as much as you have regarding using, maintaining and creating servers. I'm interested in this subject and would love to know. Thanks, Adam. Have an awesome start to your new year. Yeah, you too, buddy. Basically, I literally dedicated years of my life to sitting in front of computers and learning and learning and learning and learning. That is literally what I did. I'm kind of self-taught, and that's literally what I did. I spent ages creating Active Directories, joining machines to it, setting up group policies, setting up SQL servers, creating databases, creating Exchange servers, setting up mailboxes, the whole way through to things like MOM, SCOM, SCCVM, onto VMware, Citrix, Virtual Desktop, hypervisors, all that stuff. I just did it from learning at home. How did you get into the sport of fighting? Basically, one of my best friends, Ben, he went out with another friend of mine, and he was actually being trained by someone who I used to know when I was very young, and it just kind of came about that I'd go training with him, and it sort of went from there, and that was several years ago. What inspires you to make videos every day? Mainly the feedback I get from you guys, to be honest. I love the feedback. I love chatting to you guys. I love the fact that we've built like a little community. In regards to the review side of things, in terms of the videos, I must admit I do find it a little bit more difficult to be inspired to make videos for that. But the thing that inspires me in regards to that channel is the great products. You know, I really like testing the products and putting the videos out. The problem is that to really get the better views and stuff like that, you have to put reviews out quite quickly, and I like to spend quite a lot of time with a device before I put a review out, so it's a kind of double-edged sword really as to how you go about doing it. What is the best smartphone if I have £100 to £400? I would say the Nexus 5 for that value, although you could get a second-hand HTC One or an iPhone 5 or something like that. How do you deal with impatience when waiting for things like the Mac Pro? Asks Neil Smith. Not very well, to be honest, buddy, because I am absolutely shit at impatience. I'm very, very impatient. If I want something, I want it right now, in my hands, etc., etc. So I don't deal with it very well at all. What watches do you wear from DRG UYBH? Like I said, Chopard is my main one. I have also got... the name has just totally escaped me now. Breitling. I've got a Rolex as well. It really depends what you're into, but they're the kind of ones that I like. Hackintosh versus actual hardware, actual Mac hardware. It's never going to be as good because it's not perfectly designed to go hand in hand with one another like the Mac hardware is. But I actually did a video on why I buy Mac the other day, so search that on this channel and that probably answers the question a little bit better. Jesse Barrett asks, do you live in York and how old are you? No, I don't live in York. I live in the county of Kent, near Maidstone. And how old am I? I am 35. iBlogger asks, are you happy and why, or why not? Yeah, I mean, I think you guys can tell I'm pretty much happy all the time. No one really gets me down. Some people sometimes think like if I'm quiet or whatever that I'm not happy, but I am. I'm really happy. I just spend a lot of time sort of thinking to myself, and I'm quite happy to sort of sit back and observe certain things. But yeah, I'm happy all the time. That's the main, you know, thing in life that you need to be, is happy. So that's what I spend all my time trying to make me and my family be happy. And I think you guys know I'm pretty much happy all the time, to be honest. Greg Calbassa asks, what do you think of products like Google Glass? Personally, I don't like the idea of private companies having on-the-ground surveillance across the planet. I'm really not sceptical about all of this surveillance stuff. You know, I've worked with government organisations, the likes of MI5, GCHQ, stuff like that, and I know what these people are capable of, and it's taken way, way, way out of perspective the way people look at it. This whole NSA thing and stuff like that, for me, is exaggerated so ridiculously. Yes, certain things can be snooped, and yes, certain things can be looked at, but generally the algorithms they use are looking for stuff that is really about terrorism and stuff like that. Is that, you know, it's not, they're not looking at you having a shit on the toilet or something like that first thing in the morning. So I find it all a bit ridiculous, to be honest. And I've got nothing to worry about, so I don't really care who's watching me. And in fact, loads of you are watching me all the time. How future-proof do you think the new Mac Pro is? Actually, probably more than it's ever been before, because you can replace the processors now. So on the Mac Pro, you can replace the processors, the graphics cards, the SSD, and processors, graphics card, SSD, and memory. So pretty much everything can be changed on the new Mac Pro. So it's very, very upgradable. Does your car not constantly beep when you have your seatbelt on? When you don't have your seatbelt on? This seatbelt question comes up time and time again, and it kind of pisses me off that people ask, because it's no one's business really. But I'll answer it, and the reason I don't wear it is because I'm making a video. When I stop making the video, I put the seatbelt back on. So can everyone please stop asking me, because it's really irritating. I am a student at uni. I have a Mac Mini when I am at home and stuff, but I live away during the week, and I want a MacBook to use when I am there. Should I get the 13-inch MacBook Air or the 13-inch MacBook Pro? Get the 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro because of the extra resolution. Definitely. Hustler1339 asks, what case are you using on your 5S, if any? Excuse me. By the way, San Pellegrino. Big thumbs up on that one. I don't have cases on any of my phones. I hate them. Is the answer to that. A quick answer. Do you buy more tech because of YouTube? And would you buy that much tech if you weren't on YouTube? I probably wouldn't buy quite as much, but I still have always had a ridiculous amount of tech. Timothy Dorez asks, I search a place for the future, an English-spoken country to live, but I don't know which to choose. Any idea? Is England the best place? I wanted to listen to you saying something in French, if possible. Thank you for your awesome videos and have a new year. Merci beaucoup, that's French. What else can I say in French? Je suis allé à la pêche sur le Manche. Is that okay? And then he asks, is England the best place? I don't know if it's the best place, but I think it's a great place to live, an English-spoken place. There aren't really that many others other than America, so you know, another great country. So you can kind of pick, really. Have you ever thought of making a projector gaming stroke workstation set up from Lil Corky 250? I have had projectors in the past, and they've always got on my nerves with fan noise and light bulbs and the expense of that kind of stuff, and the quality and the setting up of the screen and all of that kind of nonsense. And I haven't looked at it for quite a few years, but they've obviously moved on since then, so maybe I will do so. But it wouldn't be for gaming; it would be for movies. Tube Mania asks, what would be your best recommendation to someone that looks forward to start their own freelance business, especially in the global economy we're all undergoing, and how do you better organise your day to fit all you have to do? So starting your own business, I mean, we've spoke about a lot of this stuff before. I think the most important thing is to actually just do it, not sit here and talk about it or have conversation about it. Just get out there, put your ideas into practice and just do it. How do you organise your day to fit all you have to do? Well, you can't always fit all you have to do in a day. That's definitely a problem. So for me, it's about prioritisation. Would you recommend a smaller version of your Dell screens from Incoming Tech? Yeah, they've been awesome. I think they look beautiful. If you don't like reflections, don't get them because they do reflect. Would you recommend a 4K TV as your main monitor? From Igor Muller. No, probably not. Not until we get HDMI 2. Do you think Arsenal will win the league? From Tech Addict 247. No, I very much doubt they will win the league because that would make me ridiculously happy. So I've no doubt that won't happen because I'm not very lucky. So probably not, but I would love it if they did. Where was your favourite holiday and where would you like to go next? My favourite holidays have probably been in either Mexico or the United States, and I'd like to go back to any one of those places next. What are your goals for 2014? I already answered that in a video about 2 days ago, so check that one out. How are you watching Lone Survivor? What service do you use to watch movies that aren't out in the cinemas yet? I just torrent movies that aren't out in the cinema yet. Who is Jade? Asks I show you Apple. Jade is my fiance. Obviously, she'll be my wife at some stage. So yes, that's who Jade is. Have you ever tried Linux? Yeah, all the time. I've got multiple Debian virtual machines running all over the place. What tech are you looking forward to in 2014? I'm really not sure, to be honest. I'm looking forward to 2K screens on phones. I'm looking to see what Samsung do with the S5. I'm looking forward to the iPhone 6. I'm not sure. And most of all, I'm looking forward to getting my new Mac Pro. Adam, first of all, would you like to train with me? I'm not sure what you mean. And second, how many girlfriends have you had? Hundreds, I think. Do you like cake? Yes. What country would you like to go to the most that you haven't been to? I'd like to go to the islands of Micronesia. That's where I'd like to go. What's been your craziest night out with your mates? We would have to answer that on an AJ show. That's too long to go on here. I'm trying to get through all of these questions. We're already on 26 minutes. What's the best city in and out of England that you have visited? Oh, man. I mean, London is incredible. I love London. Madrid, Barcelona, New York, Vegas. Obviously, I loved Vegas. Texas as well. There's so many good places in Texas. Places in Boston. There's so many I could go through. When watching movies, do you stream or download? I download. Do you use XBMC at all to watch movies? Yeah, I do. I've got an Apple TV 2 jailbroken upstairs that I've had for years, and I still use that for some of my movies that I watch. How does your home security work? I've got CCTV cameras everywhere. I've got an alarm as well. I don't know if you can see it. I've got an alarm. I've also, on my estate where I live, it's a private estate, my house is gated, and I also have, there's also 24 hours a day security as well. When are you going to give away that sentimental camera equipment? I'm deciding at the moment. I've actually been looking this morning, and I will just drop someone a direct message. I'm not going to announce it anywhere because I don't want that person to get messaged or anything. So I'll put that. I'll just talk to that one individual person. Hi Adam, I like this girl, but I don't have a clue what to say to her. Well, you could just start with hello. That's always a good one. Be confident, be bold. Just bowl up to her and just say, hi, how you doing? What's your thoughts on Samsung Chromebook? Not my cup of tea, but seems pretty nice. A lot of people do seem to like them. Can I use an iMac as my secondary display for my main iMac? Yes, you can. Matt Brownie Cake asks, Happy New Year. Would you and Brooke like a child of your own one day? Me and Brooke definitely won't be having a child. Brooke is basically my adopted child, so I wouldn't be having a child with her. Where are we? God, there's so many questions. Mitchell Queering asks, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. You may take offence to queering. Queering maybe, I don't know. What settings do you use on the 1DC to record your videos on your main channel? ISO, shutter speed, white balance, etc. The shutter speed should always be double that of the frame rate. So if you're recording at 25 frames per second, you should record at 50 as a shutter speed, a 50th of a second shutter speed. If you're doing 30, you use 60. So that's that. ISO, whatever the light requires. I usually am about 400 or 800 with my lights on. And white balance, I take a custom white balance off the white walls and I just use that. My favourite music band artist of all time, Bob Marley and Freddie Mercury. Blimey, man. There's so much stuff on here. How much would it cost to live in a house like yours in the same area? somewhere in the region of about $750,000. That's in dollars. About just over £500,000, 600,000 maybe. I'm not sure. How do you afford all that gear? You must be rich or something. I work hard and I make my own money. What kind of music do you like listening to? I like listening to pretty much any kind of music. I listen to everything from blues to reggae to hip hop to dance to, you know, whatever. I listen to all kinds of music. Rory White asks, favourite fight of all time. There's a couple. There was the Forrest Griffin fight from the Ultimate Fighter finale, which was insanely good. There was also the Diego Sanchez fight a couple of months ago, and then more recently than that, there was the Mark Hunt versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva fight, and all three of those are my top 3 fights. No, Jade isn't George's mum. Do you ever follow people who ask you for a follow back? No. I follow who I want to follow, not someone who tells me who to follow. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I have no idea. Do you think Arsenal are going to win? You're a legend. Thank you very much. I've answered that question already. Do you know your way around Bluewater? Asks Dan. It's huge, and I was only there for the first time yesterday. Yes, back to front, as you might imagine. Adam Jones asks, how do you manage your sleeping? I want to start sleeping less. It's just a waste of time. Yeah, that's how I started thinking about it. And as time went on, I just started sleeping less, and it just sort of naturally happened. Do you have a written budget for your tech, or you just go with your gut? I just buy whatever's required. Your YouTube name, Mr. Thai Box, where does it come from? Because I'm a Thai boxer, so Mr. Thai Box. If you like a girl yet she lives somewhat far away and you think she likes you back, do you go for it? Ordinarily I'd say no, but you've got only an hour, so yeah, go for it. An hour's not very far at all. How did your interest in UFC come about? Just because of the fact that I do martial arts myself. And in fact, I even watched UFC way before that. So I don't know, I just liked it, I guess. What are your political views? I don't really care. I think they're all pretty much the same. I know that Jade is your wife, but who is Jodie? Jodie is basically, what's the easiest way to put it? Jodie's like my best friend. So that's probably the easiest way to put it. Anyway, guys, I'm trying to cut this down because we're at 33 minutes and I am literally got the driest throat ever. I've had enough staring at this tiny little lens here on the iPhone 5S, just there. So I think we'll call it a day. I very much doubt whether anyone has got to the end. If you have got to the end, then write the word survivor down in the comments so I know that you have. And the rest of you, if you've got a question, write the word question and then leave your question after it so I know that it's a question when I look through the comments. And I'll do another one in a week or two, however long it sort of seems appropriate to do. And thank you very much for watching. If you have got to the end, you're a legend. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.